All right, so we all should have known when Biden started the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, that should have been a huge red flag for all of us gun owners and Second Amendment supporters, because that's kind of their way to pass this stuff and introduce a lot of BS legislation and everything. So there's two that actually came through recently, and it should come at no surprise because of everything going on. But the first one is, I think it was around 20-ish state attorney generals wrote a letter to this gun prevention program and basically want to ban 5.56 ammo. Imagine that, right? They for some reason and it's specifically the Lake City ammo plant, which there was some speculation a couple months ago that they were going to stop producing for the civilians and stockpile for the government, stuff like that, and that ended up not being true, which is good. But now they are specifically in this letter, and we'll go over what states are represented in this. It should come to no surprise, but they want to ban 5.56 ammo for civilian use because we should not have military grade ammo. How, and realistically, compared that to a 223 Remington, there's not that much difference.
I mean, you can get a wild barreled and shoot bow, so.
Right. So this is the actual letter here, and surprise, surprise, states of New York, Arizona, California, Connecticut, Delaware, D.C., Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Washington State. So that's all pretty much the states that are anti-gun for the most part.
Yep.
Arizona's like going pretty anti-gun here too recently, and you don't hear a lot about Minnesota, but I'm surprised they.
Yeah.
And Nevada, New Mexico, it's like, oh God. The other states, yeah, obviously, and they bring up several reports that are probably BS and other recent shootings that they have listed here. But according to recent reports, the ammunition made at Lake City, which is actually local to us, it's here in Independence, probably about 45 minutes to an hour from us. I've been by there. It's really cool. But ammunition made at Lake City for our military has been sold to civilians in mass quantities, leading to these bullets being used in mass shootings, including a shooting in where law enforcement officers were killed and multiple school shootings. Lake City rounds have become the ammunition of choice for use in mass shootings. And then they have several different mass shootings of late that supposedly had this. And they go on to say the shooter in Buffalo massacre discussed Lake City ammo as the best barrier penetration ammo I can get. Compounding the horror, the bullets used in this violence were subsidized by American taxpayers, as the federal government has apparently invested more than $860 million to improve production. Ammo from Lake City is manufactured for military use and does not belong in our communities. Federal courts have reportedly noted military nature of 5.56 millimeter rounds, which are used in military-issued rifles such as the M16. Military-style weapons and ammo specifically manufactured for them should be limited to military use. Even if military-grade ammo were appropriate for civilian market, its sale to private parties should not be subsidized by taxpayer dollars.
What?
Yeah. So in short term,
I'm not getting this ammo for free, am I?
Right.
If that's the case, bring it on.
Yeah, it's so freaking stupid. And yeah, they in short term, we ask your office to investigate the contracting and manufacturing practices that led to so many billions of military grade rounds being sold into our communities, and to issue a public report with recommendations about how to end the diversion of military ammo into civilian hands. In the long term, we ask the White House to ensure that future production contracts prohibit the sale of military weapons and ammo to civilians. So they're obviously going to still be going after our rifles
that aren't military grade.
Yep, and basically saying that there's a crisis and all this stuff. So unfortunately, Letitia James of New York State is the one that actually put this together and has the support of all those other states that we listed initially. So they've found out it's hard to go after the guns. So again, they're starting to go
after the ammo.
Yep. What are your thoughts on that, Chris?
I think it's BS in a way. I mean, what's going to be next? 9mm, 40, 45, because those are military grade size. So pretty much any ammo that's out there, they're going to say is military, for military use only, not for civilians. They should never have it. So this is their runaround. So they're going to do that. So, oh, you have guns. Now you don't have the tools to shoot them.
I wonder if this came out with that whole news story about Lake City not producing for the civilians, and maybe this triggered it. And like, oh, well, I didn't know you produce for civilians. Now we're going to come after you. Honestly, though, the 5.56 is not going to do that much more damage than a 2.23, regular 2.23.
Oh, yeah. None.
I mean, I think the velocity is a little higher on the 5.56, but
yeah, but you could do that with a 2.23 with a little bit more grain. So
yeah, and so
I just think people like them that have bodyguards should just shut the F up and sit down.
Yeah, nowhere does it say, law enforcement can't have this.
Yeah, because it also talked on one of the choices of the mass shooting. It said the racist. Did you see that? The racist massacre at the supermarket of Buffalo, in which 10 people were murdered and 3 were wounded.
And this goes back to what constitutes as a mass shooting.
Yeah. And I don't know, because
granted, I mean, a lot of these probably do fall under that, but
a lot of them are happening at schools because first off, they're gun-free zones, so no one's going to have guns. A lot of school districts aren't putting resource officers in the schools because they can't afford it, because they'd rather put it on their sports teams, and then they want to cry about it. Instead of spending the millions of dollars for your freaking sport team for your kid to play on, why don't you protect them with having an armed officer in each school?
Right.
And get rid of the gun-free zones, because that's part of the problem.
Yeah, because those are soft targets.
Yeah.
There's a reason they don't go.
I'm pretty sure all of us in school did cause and effects, right? At one point, cause and effect. If this happens, this will happen. And the snowball effect starts taking place. This is a snowball effect because of that gun-free zone.
Yeah. High school. Let's see. Another one is a synagogue shooting. And then we got another elementary school that happened in Uvalde, and then that supermarket in Buffalo, all of which you pretty much can't carry guns.
Yeah.
A lot of religious places don't allow you to carry guns. New York, Buffalo, New York supermarket, I'm assuming whether or not they allow you to carry a gun, it's hard to get the right to do that in New York anyway.
Yep.
So soft targets.
Yeah.
They know, yes, there's probably going to be eventually somebody there to stop them, but it's going to take them a while because they have to call the police. There's probably not armed guards there.
Yep.
Especially at a religious place.
Yeah, it'll take a while.
So they have more time to do what they want to do. And just like we talked about in UK and the knife problem,
it's the same thing.
It doesn't matter what it is. Okay, ban all the guns here, and then they're just going to start using something else.
Another thing is that we can go after this and how to prevent it, because it does go against our Second Amendment.
Yeah.
It's unconstitutional for what they're trying to do.
But they don't
they're
think
gonna
that.
they're gonna try that. But
They think that the 2A was not written for us today.
a lot of them don't even know what the Second Amendment is. They don't know what tyranny is, and
Well, they do because it's them right now.
well, yeah, but they're like, really? You think so? Well, no, I don't think so.
Well, you're going to need an F-16 to come after me.
Apparently not. We can just storm the gates and.
But when it says that, American taxpayers had invested more than $860 million to improve the production of that ammo, yes, I mean, a lot of that ammo does go to military contracts.
Yeah.
But they have enough left over to sell to civilians.
And they're actually making money off of it.
Yeah.
And putting it right back in. The tax-paying dollars is usually going there to help improve the manufacturing process so you can produce more in larger quantities. Because when time of war, if it does happen, guess what we're going to do? We're going to start upping everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we need money for that, and that does come from taxpayers. But they're also getting money back from the getting money put back into them, because we're getting taxed when we buy this ammo. It's going back to them. So really, it's a lose-lose for us taxpayers.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently this gun prevention office we're seeing a lot more and more go through this. After the whole ATF thing with all their final rules, or finally there's so many judgments after everyone that comes into play. Now you have a lot more going through this Office of Gun Violence Protection, but
they can't write the law either.
They can't, but they're obviously Democrats hold the Senate, so they can probably pass some of this through there. The House right now,
Shut it down, hopefully.
Who knows with the election coming up later this year, if for some reason the Democrats get both and something like this turns into a bill and gets sent, guess what?
Yeah, I'm with border being an issue right now, and they're just trying to make it where they can win. And then this election meddling saying people can't be on a ballot.
Well, and there's a lot of people that do feel like there needs to be some gun control. So this is going to be something for Biden to be like,
It's
oh,
crazy.
Look,
a lot of these
what we're
happen
doing.
in gun-controlled states where you can't have stuff and do this stuff.
Right.
Run by Democrats. Like the worst political party we have is the Democratic Party. They are not for you. They are a communism party. They're supported by communism. And Americans just need to wake up and start doing the research. Like, go back to history. History will repeat itself if you want to delete it. Guess what they're trying to do? They're trying to delete it. Why do they want to delete it? So they can go back and repeat themselves.
Yep.
The party has not changed since it's been up. They're always about taking away rights from you, but they're going to sit there and say, oh, but we're helping you. That's all a load of bullshit.
So in your mind, banning 5.56 ammo, 5.56 NATO round.
It's unconstitutional.
Well, that aside, do you think it would stop any of this?
No, because there's so much out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get it from other. At that point, if you're going to ban 5.56, you got to go to every manufacturer to stop this. You're not just going to one, because there's how many manufacturing plants? How many people reload?
Right.
You can't stop it.
If you ban it now, though, yes, there's going to be a time period where it's still available to civilians. But after so long, you figure people shoot it or stockpile it and don't give access to anybody. So somewhere down the line,
There's going to be
it's going to be really hard to get 5.56 for a civilian. So is that going to stop these mass shootings, or is it going to reduce the death rate of people
what they're
that are
going
getting
to go
shot?
do is they're going to go to a 2.23 round that we use for varmints and hunting, and they're going to use that next. And if they take that away, guess what? They're going to go down. They're going to go down. We got so much different types of ammo and calibers of guns that if there's a way, they're going to find it and they're going to use it. They're going to exploit it.
And then at the end of the letter there, where they said assault, like military grade ammo and weapons, we obviously know that means ARs, AKs.
Yeah, they're without saying it.
They banned 5.56, then eventually banned, AR-15s and AK-47s. Is that going to stop?
No.
If you look up a lot of the mass shootings or just gun violence in general, most of it is with pistols.
Yeah.
The ones that get the most media attention are the big black scary rifles, but a lot of gun crime is done with pistols.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the military carries, used to carry 1911. We should ban those.
Yeah.
We should ban the 45 ACP
See,
round.
this is our last resort.
Right.
If we get to this is like an old fuck moment. You don't want to be to a handgun when rifles are going on.
No, military, you do not want that.
That's like life or death right now. I'm trying to fight to save my life.
Right.
And hope to God I can get to a rifle.
And honestly, in home defense situations, for most people, an AR is most likely the best choice.
Mm-hmm.
Pistol is too hard to shoot for a lot of people and control. The rifle, you have shoulderable surface, so it has less recoil, and that recoil is not going to go crazy because of the rounds. And then with the shotgun, people are like, oh, spray and pray. Well, then if you have a pump shotgun, you might not be able to rack the slide. So that comes into play. It does have more recoil. And honestly, for a new beginner and most other new gun owners, a perfect home defense weapon is an AR.
Yeah.
So if you thought that was where they were stopping.
Oh, I know they're not stopping.
They're not stopping there. Wait, there's more. We now have the HR 625, which this is actually a bill. The last one was just a letter. This falls under the Keeping Americans Safe Act. And in this whole thing, they're going not after the ammo like was in the letter that we just read, but they are actually going after large capacity ammunition feeding devices. So this whole thing is basically them banning large capacity ammo devices, which, this isn't the first bill that we've
stuff
seen
like this before.
Yeah. So they just keep coming after it, and they keep trying to ban high capacity magazines. It doesn't go through. So guess what? Let's come up with another bill that does the same damn thing. And eventually, I think they're hoping eventually it's going to get passed.
Yeah, I think we talked about this like a year ago. Like, if those don't pass, watch, they're going to go after ammo, and look what they're doing.
Yeah. So it was all initially, ban assault weapons. And now it's like, let's ban the other stuff to go along with those. So it just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And this Office of Gun Violence Protection isn't helping. You know, I honestly, like...
Just write to your Senate and tell them we don't want this.
Exactly. Vote your state attorney general out of office if they're in one of those states.
Yeah.
First of all. So do you think, all right, so we ban high-capacity magazines. We ban 5.56.
No. They ain't going to stop us. Look at the UK. They banned guns. Now they have a knife problem.
Ban knives. What do you have then?
You still got bows and arrows. There's always going to be a weapon there. If there's a will, there's a way.
We're going back to bows and arrows.
We're going back to Indians. We gave them back their stuff, and they got slaughtered by our government because we'll protect you by killing you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about history.
Vehicles. I mean, people use vehicles all the time to mow down other people.
Yeah.
I mean, you make that argument when people are bitching about gun control, how we need to. And it's like, dude, it's the same thing with cars. Like, there's been several.
There's more deaths in America by cars.
Yes. Well, not just
than guns.
But there's been specific times where people actually rent a truck or whatever and just mow down crowds of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that guy probably couldn't get his hands on a gun, so he went to the next thing that he had available to him.
It just happened to be a rent-a-truck that's 20,000 pounds, and it's a box truck.
Yeah, bad people are going to do bad things.
Yeah.
No matter what, and they're going to use any means possible. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
We're going to start seeing nunchucks, those throwing stars, and freaking everything.
I actually made some on my 3D printer.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, throwing stars.
If you guys like this content, check out the full episode coming out this Friday on the Workbench After Hours podcast. Hit that like and subscribe button so you can be notified when we come out with more content, and stay in tune with the podcast. You can also listen to audio only on Spotify and all those listening platforms.